Danganronpa Plush videos. Videos that involve people making series based on Danganronpa. However, with plushies, and you can't forget about the paper characters because paper characters are people too. Now, if you have clicked on this video, you probably either heard or seen a Danganronpa plush series, or maybe you have nothing else to do and you just need a background noise. That's why I'm here. So, today I got something very special for you all. Today, I'm gonna rank my top 10 favorite Danganronpa plush series. This is Series I. You get the point. Now, before we can begin the list, I should definitely say the rules of this top 10 because there are rules. Rule number 1. Danganronpa Spicy Chaos can't be on this list. You wanna know why? Because I have beef with ER Dragon because that series is almost gonna be at its 3rd year anniversary and it's not even chapter 5 yet. So screw that guy. Rule number 2. Only one per person. This means if Squiggly Miggly has 2 different Danganronpa plush series, they both can't be on this list. Only one can be. And those are the rules. However, I also got a few warnings. Real quick, fast warnings, yeah. Warning 1. I will show spoilers and talk about spoilers. So if you see a series that you're interested in, go watch it. I'm gonna put the links of everybody on this list on the description below. Go watch them. They're bangers, they're peak, and you should go watch them. Warning 2. Everything on this list is my opinion, which means you can disagree and it's completely okay. And if somehow you completely hate my list, you should comment your top 10 in the comment section. Now that I'm finally done explaining the rules and the warnings, we can begin the list. Number 10. Danganronpa Plush Magical Despair by Plushster Video Making. Now, Plushster has done many different killing games. However, I'ma be honest, most of them just feel rushed. And that's probably because, from what I gathered, is that Plushster focuses on quantity over quality. And this is why Magical Despair is in this list, because out of all of the series that Plushster has made, Magical Despair feels the most complete and coherent. The cast, of course, there were some members that were forgettable to me, but others were really cool, in fact. For example, Yuri being the protagonist, I enjoyed because of a later twist. And Dragapult faking his death and being like, hey guys, I'm back alive, sup? That was cool, I love that moment. Because it was set up. Unlike Arcanine's fake out death, I mean, they never really died. They just got teleported somewhere else because of a foundation messing with Dimentio's magic. You know, that one was much. All right, I didn't really enjoy that one. Now, let's talk about the mastermind, Ayano from frickin' Yandere Sim. Now, what I like about Ayano is the potential she could have had. You know, because Yuri is the protagonist, right? And she's with knives and stuff. She's the knife girl, you know. But then there's Ayano, and she also works with knives. So if she was actually in the killing game, they could have had some connection thing. You know, like counterparts, the good and evil. Yuri becoming better, Ayano becoming badder. You know, it could have been like that. But no, she just kind of showed up out of nowhere and was like, yup, it was me. Also, in the final episode, there were 2 moments that actually got me to laugh. For example, when Kazuma got dragged to hell with Ayano, and everybody was like, oh, well, he's gone. Coolio. He kind of deserved it, though. The other moment was when the Foundation was like, hey, guys, you guys did great. How about you join our Foundation of Hope? And everybody was like, damn, they really did save us. We kind of owe it to them. Okay, bye. And then they walk away. Yeah, that was peak character writing, I must say. And that's about all I need to say. I hope Plusher improves more in the future. Number 9. Danganronpa Plush Manor Havoc by Plush Things. Before I say anything else, I must say that Plush Things has a beautiful way to make beautiful casts that I love. Because this cast of Manor Havoc is one of my favorite casts of any Danganronpa Plush series. It's so simple, yet so effective to me. However, this series is dragged down a lot due to the awful audio mixing. Like, sometimes I want to hear this character talk in the trial, but then the music's like... And I'm like, what? Huh? What? And I'm not gonna talk about Dark Bowser because a Red Plush fan already talked about him in his original top 10. So I'm just gonna say... Also, I want to talk about Mittens because Mittens is such a peak character. It's just a cat, and he's a prick. And damn, I thought he was gonna live, but then he died, and I was like, man, not Mittens, bro. Not Mittens. I really enjoyed basically all the cases. However, my favorite one was the first one, where freaking Luigi mistakes a pillow for Ike's hair. All in all, I really enjoyed watching Manor Havoc, and I wish that Plush Things would return. However, it can't be higher than this, because it has some problems with the audio that really drag it down. And also, I just like other series better. But anyway, really good series. Number 8. The Mimic You Lover TML. The person that originally introduced me to Danganronpa Plush videos. Now, there's many series to pick from. However, I can't lie about this anymore. My favorite Danganronpa Plush series from the Mimic You Lover is Lying Lockdown, baby! Let's go! Now, I'm gonna be honest. Lying Lockdown is the plain white rice of Danganronpa Plush videos. It doesn't try anything new. It doesn't try anything special. However, it's simple and it works. Now let me tell you why. Okay, the cast, really simple. You know, there's not like a character that you're like, wow, incredibly obscure pick. When you look at this cast, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see the vision. However, even now, I still think it's weird how there's 3 out of the 4 Dokis and the 3 Mario princesses in the game. Bold move, I must say. And for the surviving cast, it was pretty obvious the people that were gonna live. The only one that I was unsure about is Nightmare Foxy, because I wish Nightmare Foxy would have lived, but he didn't. He just became absolutely nothing once Bane died. And I think that was the point because he's the minion. But still, there could have been more. And Circus Baby being the mastermind was so incredibly obvious because she had the least interaction with anybody. She was just there the whole time. And then, oh yeah, she's the mastermind. Oh no, it's Elizabeth. Oh no, she's British. The only thing that surprised me in this series was Ayumu being a guy. I didn't know the octopus was gonna turn out to be an eel. If I knew the Fangan from where Ayumu came from, that twist would have been obvious. I would have seen it since the start and I would have been like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a part of it. but I didn't know because the only Danganronpa content I consume anymore are the Danganronpa plush videos. I was thinking of picking United Despair because of Snivy, Rosalia, freaking Silver. They were great, but then Shiro was kind of annoying, and of course, the accident with Funtime Foxy. I mean, why didn't Funtime Foxy close the door? The door was open. Why didn't they close the door? Overall, if I were to describe Lying Lockdown, it would be like the series that you should watch if you don't understand how Danganronpa works. Number 7. Danganronpa Plush, Foundation of Despair by Silver Star. Yeah, it's still pretty good even after all these years. This series was one of the first Danganronpa Plush series that I ever watched, so it holds a special place in my heart. However, we're not talking about nostalgia right now, so let me explain why it's here. You can visually see the improvement that goes on throughout the series, including investigations and trials. I mean, comparing the very first trial against the final trial, they're completely different. The first trial is really rough, it doesn't have edits basically. While the final trial has the whole shebang, it has everything you would need in a Danganronpa Plush trial. And the final death, which was Bulborb getting executed. It was really sad for young me. Really sad. I almost got teared up. I don't cry. I'm too much of a man to cry. And that finale with Link getting a car was definitely a surprise, but a welcome one for sure. Honestly, a pretty simple series that was pretty good and deserves to be remembered for being one of the first. Number 6. I'm absolutely getting roasted for this one, and it's not a joke. Danganronpa Plush, Murderous Mayhem by BMG's Plush World. Please, let me explain. Please. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be the bad guy. Just listen. To me, BMG is definitely the king of Danganronpa Plush right now. I mean, his series are popping off. And that's well earned because the trials and cases of BMGs are just art. Now, you're probably like, ER, why aren't you talking about Dimensional Disparity? I mean, Dimensional Disparity was incredible. One of the greatest pieces of work I have ever seen. Well, dear viewer and viewers, I haven't watched it yet. And that's why we're talking about Murderous Mayhem! Well, because the cases and trials of Murderous Mayhem are just really high quality and whole truth. And there was art! The characters were flying across the screen, it was like the game! Now, to explain why it's not higher in the list. Well, the thing is, while yes, the cases and trials are fantastic, the characters, on the other hand, are really one note to me. The only characters I kinda cared about and got attached to was Boo, Chalice, and Dreambirds. But then Chalice died! I still believe Flareon and Brock should not have been survivors. They really had nothing going for them. And Meta Knight having this whole personality change of, oh yeah, I'm gathering souls to become the ultimate. Sounds familiar. Wait a minute. It felt like Meta Knight's character was jumping the shark by completely turning evil and all of that. I didn't really like it. What I'm trying to say is that I'm more of a guy that cares about the characters more than the trials and cases. Because if the characters die and I don't care about them, then why should I care about the trial or cases? And this is exactly why the Chapter 5 trial is my favorite trial. First of all, it was incredible because, oh, it made fun of Rousey and Asriel being similar. and made them all, is it me or am I alive or am I dead? Am I alive? But then I didn't want Chalice to die, so my eyes were glued to the screen and I was like, damn, please don't kill Chalice. I actually kind of like her. But then she died! My only other complaint is that sometimes there's a scene that I think BMG forgot to cut and it feels weird. Like, oh yeah, the character's talking about this, but then 1 second later he's talking about it again because BMG probably didn't like the first try of it, but then forgot to cut the first try of it. Anyway, I have high expectations for Dimensional Disparity whenever I get around to watching it, and I will someday. Number 5, Danganronpa Plush, Killing Time by 24/7 Plush. When I started watching Killing Time, I did not expect myself to enjoy it as much as I did. It's such a shame that it got canceled early because really, it was so good. I really must praise basically all the characters in this cast. They all work together so incredibly well. Sabo especially surprised me because I really thought going in that Sabo was gonna be an annoying crybaby protagonist. But oh wait, Sabo's somehow a Chad in this series? So I'm trying to say that this series subverted my expectations in a good way. Another thing I really liked was the fact that the cases and trials were easy to follow. Those are also the reasons why I chose Killing Time instead of Manor. Because while yes, the cast of Manor has a ton of characters from different dimensions, it would mean that some characters get left out in the wayside in terms of character screen time and development. Now, the reason it's at number 5, even though I'm heavily praising it because it's good, it's still missing some things that make me place it higher. For example, the series is very straight to the point, which is good sometimes, but it's also bad sometimes. Like, sometimes I want the characters to have more, like, nice, common interactions, but then, oh yeah, the person's already dead, so yeah, we need to investigate real quick. This is a nitpick, but I really don't like the trials that go for 3 episodes. I feel like at max a trial should be 2 episodes, but you know, that's a nitpick from me. Overall, Killing Time was a great watch, and I would definitely recommend. However, there's some things that I don't really like that make it sit in number 5. Also, Grim Foxy is my favorite character of Killing Time, that's it. Number 4. Home Sweet Despair by Mario Luigi Studios. Come on, you knew they were gonna appear in this list. I mean, it's a classic. It looked like it was hella fun to film, and that makes me really enjoy it. And also, it's very funny, which earns it quite a few points for a person such as myself. An iconic moment that everybody talks about is the Hangman minigames. Like, come on, SpongeBob and Patrick making out. It makes no sense, but it's just perfect. I can't describe it as anything else, it's just perfect. However, this series can also take itself seriously. Like, of course, the trial that everybody remembers being the Bowser Jr. and Tails case. Because Bowser Jr. did not even remember killing Tails, and then there's Bowser, unable to believe that his son might die because he accidentally killed somebody. It's just so well done. Now, the reason it's the top 4 is because this is just a me thing, because I like characters that are from different franchises to interact with each other. And there's not that in this series because everybody knows each other because they're all Mario basically, except Waddle Dee! Before moving on, I must say that Toad deserves respect after the sacrifice he did. Long live the Toad. Number 3. Danganronpa Plush, Old Blood, New Wounds by the Plush Loving Gent. I cannot stress enough how out of nowhere this series came from. Like, honestly, I was not expecting much, but when I watched it, I loved it. Even though there's only 2 chapters out, it's already in my top 3. I cannot stress this enough. The Plush loving gent has my comedy, for real. And let me talk about this cast. It's full of bangers, except Balmy. Especially Gatorade. Gatorade is going through some character development, and I love that. He's not static. He has like dreams and stuff, and he sees his family, and damn, he has backstory. Also, his voice. Damn, he's such a distinguished gentleman. I really like the cast. However, there are some that I really don't like. For example, I'm really tired of Mango and Funtime Foxy being characters. I'm just really bored of them. Like, there's 20 million Freddys. Pick one of the Freddys. Oh wait, there's a toy Freddy here! Then there's some characters that feel like they're just there. Like Meloetta. Meloetta's definitely the biggest sinner of that because she's just a woman. Also, when Noctis died, I was actually so sad because Noctis was such originality of a character. Instead of him being a culprit silhouette, he was actually a character. I absolutely adore this series already, but I just can't put it higher because there's only 2 chapters done. I will be waiting very patiently to whenever the next episodes come out. Number 2, yeah! Red Plush Fan 789, The Curse of Despair. If I were to describe this series in one word, it's comfy. The first 2 chapters were definitely not my favorite. However, after the trial of chapter 2, they really start getting better. It seems like the characters really find their spot, their rhythm of the game. And in chapter 5, when Creeper dies, you come to realize that these guys would literally never murder each other. So it literally has to be that Creeper sacrificed himself for his friends. I truly love this cast because on the outside it is very simple. However, it grows. It grows to become something special. However, there's a certain character that even now I can't stand. Govamon just was annoying to me. You may have a different opinion about this, but his shtick of getting everybody's names wrong just got tiring after a while for me. However, when he died, I must say, it was kinda sweet for Giovanni to carry him to heaven. It was kinda sweet, okay? Even though I hated the seal, that was kinda sweet. Stella dying was a surprise because you would expect that she would live because she's the only girl of the cast. So when she dies early, you're just like, what? However, I would actually not replace any of the surviving cast because they all work well with each other. However, I do have mixed feelings about Umbreon being the mastermind. I mean, it's so cliche. The ultimate Doom Lord being the mastermind is kind of like, huh? But I do like a villain that is literally just bad. But it also would have been interesting to see somebody else be the mastermind. And that's about all the problems I have with it. I mean, the only reason it's top 2 is because I just adore number 1. Which is... Before I say it, I know you would be very surprised about which one it is because I've said some really popular and great series. However, my favorite Danganronpa plush series has to be Bloodbath Mayhem by the Plushie Backlog. Now this series has everything I would want from a Danganronpa plush series. First of all, the cast has its hits and misses. For example, some hits are Captain Toad as the protagonist, Hatsune Miku, Steve, a inkling turned as a squid. Captain Toad definitely became my favorite character of the series and my favorite protagonist of pretty much any Danganronpa Plush series because he's so cool. He's a professional. He really wants to get the job done. It also feels like pretty much everybody of the cast served their purpose. Nobody in the cast overstayed their welcome. They died at the perfect times. And I'm completely happy with the surviving cast. Yeah, Steve would have been nice, but you know, he had his moment. And yeah, he died in a sad way, but you know, protecting somebody, that's my boy. He died for the cause. Also, including Cuphead for like 2 chapters was a bold move, but honestly, he was welcome. He added a little bit of spice, and then he disappeared. And you were like, oh man, maybe he should have stayed. But no, that makes him special because he actually left. Now, let me talk about these masterminds. I mean, first of all, the fact that there were 2 masterminds? Wow. I did not see it happening. Now, let me tell you this. I am so happy to see Funtime Foxy as a mastermind because there's so many Funtime Foxies and a lot of other Danganronpa Plus series. So I'm finally happy that somebody finally made them a mastermind and I could see them getting executed as the mastermind. And Pikachu being the other mastermind and being like, yeah, when I was going Pika 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 for like at least a minute, it was foreshadowing. What? And while yes, the series was not very comedic, I still enjoyed the fact that it took itself seriously. And yeah, I know that this series may not be for everybody because sometimes it is a little bit rough. But for me, it is my favorite Danganronpa Plush series due to its characters, cases, and overall tone. Well, there it is. You have heard me yap for 27 minutes about Danganronpa Plush. Great. But what did y'all think? Was my list horrific? Was it kinda good? What do you have to say, viewers? Listen, I'm not a big commentary YouTuber, so yeah, I tried my best. Until we meet again! In probably a Plush video. Yeah, see you there! Bye-bye!